Well, Spurs fans. That's 4 wins in a row.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. My goodness, our Spurs are now 10-8, and they're in the play-in seeding. And I want to ask you this. Just how good can this Spurs team be? Well, I'll answer that towards the back end of the video. Before we get into there, let's get into this article from Air Alamo. Could they have picked a worse picture? Talking about last night's win and yet another record for Victor Wembanyama. That's right, another one. 6 of the Spurs' 10 wins this season have been by 10 points or more. Let that sink in for a team that won only 22 games last year. San Antonio has now won 7 of their last 9 games, and I didn't realize we've been on that much of a heater. 7-2 in our last 9. Nice. The impossible began in the 2-0 when Victor Wembanyama was drafted number 1 overall last summer. Since then, he's done nothing but live up to the hype that came along with his name, and he's broken record after record. Noah puts this up. Wemby is the youngest center in NBA history to make at least 6 threes in 4 games. Yes, a weird stat, but it's his at the age of 20 years old and 327 days. The previous record holder was Karl Anthony Towns, who set the record at 24 years old against the Utah Jazz. Irony? I think not. Wemby is shutting down his critics, is he now? Anyone still complaining about Wemby's shot selection is just being stubborn. He shot 14 three-pointers against Utah, and he made 6 of them. That's a 43% efficiency that hundreds of players in the league would love to have. That's a lot of efficiency. That's efficiency I'd like to see a lot of our guys have, looking at Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, pretty much the entire roster for that matter. He's shooting 43% from 3 over his last 10 games. That's a good clip. So, yeah, 14 threes is that is a lot, but if you're hitting 6 of them, that's a good return rate. And talking about the Spurs win, well, I guess it's it on Wemby, but talking about the win last night, Stephon Castle was the Spurs' second leading scorer with 23 points. The rookie established himself as a reliable player who fans can count on to make plays, and he did that in spades. But it wasn't just Wemby and Castle. It wasn't the first half. Those two were carrying the team offensively. We went to the half with a 66-66 tie. Gianni Champagnie had 3 steals and shot 4 of 9 from 3 and was really big in the second half to help seal the deal. And I got to talk about Blake Wesley. What a weird game he had last night. Against Utah, he had 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting, gave 4 assists, and notched 2 steals in almost 22 minutes. But the thing that jumped out when looking at the end of the game stats, Spurs fans, he had a plus 34. I know some of you are like, plus minus. Whatever. When he was on the court, he was clearly a difference maker, a ridiculous plus 34. Our Spurs continue to show the league that the Spurs culture is alive and well in Alamo City. They're going to have to deal with threats from multiple positions while figuring out how to stop an alien who has every basketball ability known to man. Okay, so let's talk about how good this Spurs team can be. I'm a little distracted, by the way. I got the news about Daniel Jones and just did a short before this video. How good can he be? When the season started, I predicted we would get about 35 to 40 wins. We got 10 wins on November 26th. We got our 10th win last night on November 26th. Last season, we didn't get our 10th win until January 27th. They're still 2 months ahead of schedule. They're 10-8 right now, and that is good for 10th place in the Western Conference. 10-8 with tons of injuries and their head coach being out since, I believe, November 2nd. Demasel has missed 14 games. He will be back tonight versus the Lakers. The Spurs didn't want to play him on a back-to-back. Lighting is changing here, I'm sorry. Jeremy Sohan has missed 11 games and is out until Christmas, New Year's, later. Wemby himself has missed 3 games. Trey Jones has missed 12 games. And by the way, his offense is absolutely off right now. His shooting splits are 28, 20, and 67. He's struggling anywhere and everywhere on the basketball court. I hope he turns things around. Maybe he's not 100% from that ankle injury, but his offense is just, it ain't doing it right now. Guys, we haven't seen this team reach their full potential yet. We've never seen the projected starting lineup of CP3, Devin, Harrison, Jeremy, and Wemby. They've played 0 minutes. Heck, they've played 0 seconds together. When Jeremy Sohan's back and Demasel, hopefully back for the rest of the year, are integrated into this lineup, we're gonna have some legit depth off the bench. I changed my prediction based on what I'm seeing. The CP3 effect is real when he goes to a losing team. Yes, he does help the team, but we can't overlook Harrison Barnes. And I got to say, Mitch Johnson doing a heck of a job as a substitute head coach or interim head coach. So I think now 35 to 40 is a little on the low side. I'm going to say the floor is 41 wins, which would be 500, 41 and 41. And I think our ceiling is 46 wins, which would be 46 and 36. Both records way, way better than our previous two seasons of 22 and 16. And if they can get to 44 wins this year, which is reasonable, Spurs fans, they would match their total wins combined for the last two seasons. So we are trending so much in the right direction. I know some folks keep saying, TSR, the draft, it's so deep next year, we need to tank. The tanking days are over. I just don't see Victor Wembanyama or Stefan Castle not giving it all for the Spurs to get a win. That being said, Atlanta Hawks have lost a few games in a row, so keep your eye on the Atlanta Hawks and root for them to lose. We're being honest. Root for them to lose a lot of games. We have their unprotected pick in 2025. That's our best chance to get a Cooper Flag, an Ace Bailey, or whoever. The Spurs record, I don't think so, unless we end up being a fringe play-in team, lose the play-in, finish 13th or 14th in the NBA seeding, and then some magic happens and we get a top 3 pick. I think a better chance of the Hawks sucking than us getting that pick. So let's hope on that. And the question I'll ask to you, a big question that popped in my mind when I was writing my loose script for this video. I have like a little talking point. The Spurs are playing well with Stefan Castle as a starter, and Mitch is trusting him to close out games. When Devin Vassell's 100%, Jeremy Sohan's 100%. So Stefan Castle stay in the starting lineup. I got to think Champagne's coming out. No matter what happens, Champagne's probably coming out for one of those guys. Maybe Sohan. Has Stefan Castle earned a spot to permanently stay in the starting lineup? Worst case scenario, if he goes back to the bench, he's going to get at least 25 minutes a game and give us some legit D off the bench, because our D off the bench is, we got some guys that can't play D. I mean, Zach Collins was so bad last night, he didn't even play in the second half. So a lot of interesting things happening with our Spurs. We got the Lakers tonight. Miss TSR will be here. I invited her over. I was like, hey, why don't you come over and watch the game? Spurs aren't playing again for, till next Sunday? So this is the last game before the holiday break. Spurs are coming off a back-to-back, so they're going to be tired. The Lakers are coming off a back-to-back too. And let's not forget, Anthony Davis is north of 30, and LeBron James, is he 40 or pushing 40? So they may have some tired legs in the second half. We got to take advantage of that and beat LA and improve to 11-8 and get a 5-game winning streak, which we haven't had in. Have we ever had one on this channel? Have we? I don't know. I don't think so. I'd have to fact check myself on that. But there probably haven't been too many of them. There sure as heck been a ton of 5-game losing streaks. So I appreciate y'all. Drop a comment down below on Stefan Castle stuff or anything else in this video. Hit the thumbs up to become an official sponsor of TSR Sports, and subscribe to become part of the best darn Spurs community on YouTube. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay.